hello, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, tell a friend. All right, so this is the reunion for the Real Housewives of Durban, season 13. It was, and episode 14, part 2, all fair in love and war. Okay. So Jamal, as a season overall, first season for Durban, what are your thoughts?
For me, I really like this show, and I'm going to say the main reasons are the fact that the cast is diverse. They're different parts of South Africa, so you get an exposure to different cultures. I enjoyed that.
Mhm.
These women actually have actual businesses that are tangible that we can see. Love that for them. And then number three, I like the fact that you can tell each of these women has lived some sort of life somewhere. Like it's it's not all about being petty fights. It's about them
Mhm.
growing and learning and adjusting, and you can see that. You can see that in this show. You can really see that in
Mhm.
this show, and I
Mhm.
appreciate that about it.
All right, and I have to give a shout out to Crazy Beautiful Lens because last week I asked and she delivered. I was a little lost with why KG with what she said, I'm not scared of you, was so offensive. And this is her response. All right. So thank you so much, Crazy Beautiful Lens. She says, Zulu woman here to explain the KG Ayanda Lakanko Mabusi showdown. So when anyone says to a Zulu person, Zabi. Okay, I know I mispronounced that, but that's what Jamal is here for. He's the smart one, which is I am not afraid of you. Those are fighting words, especially when you say it in Zulu. Even when the Zulu regiments would go into battle, one of the war cries that were sung goes like this, and she says it, and she translates, are we scared of them? No, we are not scared of them. We'll take them on. So culturally, when anyone says that to a Zulu person, it's literally fighting words. And then she goes on to explain that the divide is also tribal. So there's like deep cultural ramifications in what KG said, because to you and me sitting down here, it's like, okay, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you, Jamal, but we not gonna fight.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. I at times I'm lost. So I am internally grateful for members like Crazy Beautiful Lens. And then one of our first contributors that helped me understand something with regards to Lakonko was Unfiltered Nathabeleng. And forgive me if I didn't say that right as well, but I really appreciate you for giving us our first understanding of Lakonko and who she is, because of course they know who she is. I didn't Google her, even though she gave that instruction. But you gave us like the background details on that, and I didn't want the season to end without saying thank you to everyone who has helped us out in the comments, because you've enhanced our enjoyment of this franchise. And thank you for taking the time to help us out. We really appreciate it.
For sure, because it's like you could see like there was some issue going on with KG, Lakampo, and Ayanda, but you knew it was something, but you didn't know what it was or what it meant. You just knew they were offended somehow. And I was like, somebody offended somebody. I'm not sure what was said or what it means, but it's nice to have people who can help us out. At least so we can have some understanding, because it kind of sucks watching a new culture and wanting to understand and then you don't understand the nuances. And when our subscribers can break it down for us, it's like, oh,
Yes.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So we open up with part one. What had happened was Did he say his name was Fat Joe, the host?
Yes.
He's not fat. Like, okay. And he his accent was very neutral. I, where's he from? We need background on him because again, I did not Google. The ladies come out, they all look lovely. I love Lakonko's dress, but it needed hemming at the bottom. Um who did I like? I loved Sarisha, and Ayanda always looked fabulous, but all the ladies looked nice. It was a white theme, white and gold. Awesome. Loved it. The first part was basically like getting general impressions from all of the ladies, what it was like, their first time filming, um, you know, and it was kind of fluff this first episode.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I took it too. And look, I was going over my notes. One of the key things was though, how did you feel? How did you feel about hearing that Andy was getting married the weekend of the reunion? And it seemed like the cast didn't know.
Oh my God, Annie.
Oh,
Oh, Annie, bless her heart. She really did not invite anybody. Wow. Hold on. Crazy Beautiful Lens. It's his stage name, Fat Joe. He is South African but lived in the US for a while. So he says, oh, so his accent is a mix. So he says, he's so shady, but thank you. Okay. Annie is doing her thing, and she's not letting any of these work colleagues come to her wedding. Period. End of story. Was it in episode 1 that we find out that the reason why KG wasn't there was because she has several deaths in her family?
mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, that's sad. I really, I would have loved for her to be there, and I know at one point Annie said, "See, this is why she needed to be here,
Right.
so I don't have to talk." um, let's see. Hold on. What did they go around and ask?
Where you're looking, did want to touch on Annie
Yeah.
and Nonku a little bit. So Noku felt like no one really supported her, specifically Annie and KG. At her first one of it, the first one, right? And she was feeling some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But then Annie comes back and says, "Well, if you want respect and support, how about you learn your product?" Like,
That was the best part of the episode.
and she was like, and she kept trying to drill into her. She said, "You need to understand your product. How you gonna be out here calling yourself a businesswoman and you don't know your product? That's ridiculous." And they will go into a very good point that why at your event where you're doing a launch of your wine are you serving other alcohol? I'm like, you
Yep.
know what? I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong. You're
Yep.
not wrong. They're like, your wine should be the star of the night because it's your launch.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
like, good
But
point.
then none of them tasted it because, and I understand why they didn't. If you have someone up there talking about notes of kiwi and shoe leather for the white Cabernet Sauvignon, and you're just like, wait, what? I'm not tasting that neither. Sorry.
And
And then,
asparagus. Don't
oh,
get the
and
asparagus.
asparagus. Yes. I'm just like, come on now. And she stood up there and let her brand, her wine be trashed. Sorry, she's in addition to not being a very good host, I don't think that was a good business move. I just don't.
No, but I think you said it that it was her pride instead of her just listening to KG
Mhm.
and like really taking it in. She got offended and dismissive, and it's like, well, this is what happens.
Well, here's the thing, right? She says that she owns this wine. It's her
Mm-hmm.
company. She has invested her money into it. It's her brand that she's building. The name is supposed to be so meaningful. You're putting all of this time, sweat, money, equity into it. yet you can't take the time to learn about your product and then explain your product to people, you don't deserve the company.
You don't deserve something.
You
Damn.
don't. You don't. I'm sorry. It's a waste. Um, find someone else who wants to be more invested. Sorry, it was just disappointing, especially when you saw the other ladies and what they did for their product launches. Because like every episode, there was a product launch, and then there was like competition between like Lakonko and Annie wanting to outdo each other. Like those are invested owners of a brand or a product, you know. Nanku is just like, I'm gonna show up here and hope it work out. He gonna talk about it, you know. And even the makeup thing, I thought that was lackluster as well, because why the fuck you taking me out in the hot sun out on a golf course to practice some shots, and I can't get my swing right because of my titties, and then gonna sit me down to no, sorry, I didn't like the makeup session either. Um, but that was one of the best parts where Annie handed her ass, and I appreciated her for it. Okay, so what's going on here? I remember when I first watched the wine launch scene, I suspected that Nanku was too proud or cheap to hire an events person company to help her set up. I think she tried to do it on her own. It did look homemade.
Right.
It did. And because she didn't have an event planner, because an event planner would have had a rain backup, and she didn't.
And here's my whole
This
thing.
rim
Let's go
launch
back to
was.
that. The
Mm-hmm.
sommelier canceled because they missed their flight. Why were I still
Mm-hmm.
ask why weren't they there 48 hours early?
Yeah, because she didn't want to pay for the hotel. I'm really thinking of watching this series, but Lagos is a bore. This one was good. From the first episode to the end, this one was good. This one opened up, like Sarisha said, with shots fired at her Diwali party, with Nanku announcing that she the baby mama to the lady sitting across the table from her. Don't you know who I am? And it ended off with a bang as well. Mimi, it's just 14 episodes. They go by really quickly. If you have Peacock, watch it. It's good. It's really good. Um let's see. Um they go through, like, for Lakanko's trip, Lakanko still feels like Annie purposely sabotaged the candle delivery. Um Annie was just not here for it. She didn't care. Let's see. The pajama party. They talk about all the ladies crushing on the crew. Do, 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 do. At the end, Sarisha explains that she's very sensitive and not about not being considered African. And Annie says that she has a problem with Nonku's comments in particular about her not being African. Um, Sarisha says that, historically, you weren't white enough, and now you're not black enough to be African, right? So Ayanda tries to explain, and she says she blames how it was translated, that what she meant in Zulu wasn't that she was saying that they weren't black. And she's saying that it's it isn't tribalism either. This is a really complex story that I had no idea
Mm-hmm.
that we were wading in these waters. Like when we first started watching this show, I didn't really have any expectations, but I sure enough wasn't expecting this deep dive either. This is amazing.
It's amazing because it's like different cultures and you get to this is
Hold on.
oh what
Okay, so thank you, Crazy Beautiful Lens. Annie is mixed race, and that's why the not being African comment is offensive. Oh, but so it's so you're not considered African because you're born in a one of the many countries of Africa. So they're trying to discount half of her genetic makeup as excluding her from being African. That's weird. Like I would never not be called Barbadian because I'm mixed. I's a Bajan. Um, Annie isn't black. So are they mistaken in saying that black equals African? So you can't be white African? Like they discount that? Oh, that's so weird.
I mean, given the country and what they've gone through in their history with apartheid, I'm
Mhm.
you would we have to remember apartheid wasn't abolished that long ago. So
True.
those sentiments are still there. But
But
it's kind of
Isn't it funny though? Because, like, here, it's one drop of black blood, you black. But over there, it's the opposite.
yeah, they're like yeah, it's very different.
Okay, it's contentious. There are radical black South Africans who discount white South Africans as
Oh,
African and reference them as Europeans to this day.
okay, okay, that
Yeah.
helps me understand.
Oh, as Europeans. Damn. So wait a minute. When we was watching Joburg, right? And remember what's her name? Crystal. She said something about Africanes or something like she had a different twist on
Oh,
saying African.
it's Afrikaans.
Afrikaans, right.
Yeah.
So was that a language or was that
Oh, based like it's
I
been many
forget.
years. It's been many years since I've taken this course. The way I remember, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Afrikaans is both. Let me just double check. Is it? I was thinking it was a language and like a people.
I thought it was language, but I'm just asking. Crazy Beautiful Lynn says, and even reference them as settlers, not settlers. Okay, so Mimi
Okay,
says that's a language.
it's a language.
Crystal is Afrikaans as they are descended from the Dutch. Broken
So here's
Dutch.
So here's the thing. It's weird the way they have this on. That's why I don't like Google that much. It says Afrikaners are a South African ethnic group descended from predominantly Dutch settlers first arriving at the Cape of Good Hope in the 17th and 18th century. So is it okay? Coming from a, I'm asking this question to Crazy Beautiful Lens. Okay, so they're people. Okay, they
Mhm.
are now an ethnicity and language. Okay, so now it's both. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then I was taking these type of courses like African history, African American history, yada yada yada. We were taught
Oh.
it's both.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Excuse me. All right. So wait. Mimi says I come from Holland, and even when they speak Afrikaan, I can communicate with them as well. Oh. Okay. Okay.
So Afrikaans. So basically, Afrikaans is a derivative of Dutch, if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way I remember it. But in the world, things change. I like to ask the question like, is it still this way?
Okay. And G Heed. I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Gesundheit,
I know I
basically.
mispronounced that. As you can tell,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not one for the languages.
Got it. Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mimi. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is good. This is good. I don't know what we would do without you guys. I so appreciate it. Oh my god. Okay, so was there any other highlights in this first installment of the reunion?
Let me check. Oh, Mabusi. She was in the Mabusi part was in this part one. So basically, Mabusi comes out. They start talking to her,
Oh,
and
we
no,
not
who's still
friends.
right. And they're all looking at her like, "What?"
But then Mabusi starts doing the roll call. I knew you back from school and your
Right.
boyfriend. And y'all used to do this and that. And I got the receipts. I got photographs. I got everything. And
And
Nonku
she's
is
like,
just sitting there like, huh?
and Mabusi's like, and we're still friends. I'm like, oh, we're still, her and the ex boyfriend are still friends. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. Receipts, Whitney.
And Nonku is just like, I don't remember you. She doing a
Right.
Mariah Carey. I don't know you.
While bringing her on the show. That is just I've never seen someone get denounced as a friend on the first season. Maybe the second season, not the first.
But here's the thing, you know what? Payback's a bitch. Cause Nanku, you rolled up on Ayanda like I don't know what. So let Mabusi expose your drawers. There you go.
Well, what
She
she said
really
was
did
kill me.
disown her. Shut
Yeah.
up. That is so messed up. And then Mabusi said that she thinks she left them flowers at the table. So how they wound up on the floor outside in no cool room? And then
Right.
why'd you admit to eating the chocolates? Come on, girl. This first episode was okay, but it was just like a get to know you and filler for me. The second part. The second part. Oh, okay. Nanku is a social climber. She ditched Nanku to be better friends with the other wealthier ladies. Oh, she ditched Mabusi. Okay, no, we got
She
you.
just
We got you.
hmm
Well, yeah, I mean, all Mabusi had was the Cootie Cat steamer, and she was excited about getting a BMW when you can go and
hmm
socialize with, someone who got a billion reasons to be happy. I don't blame her. There you go.
Here's the thing. Here's my whole thing. Like, I wouldn't ditch my friends. If I was social climbing, I would never ditch my friends. But see, this just tells me her and Mabusi weren't real friends anyway, though. Because if she was your real friend, you just took her with you.
Here's the thing. I don't think Noku knows how to be a friend. She doesn't know how to
Agreed.
listen. She doesn't know how to take constructive criticism. She doesn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
ask for help or accept
Mm-hmm.
help. So she doesn't have the basics on how to be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So Mabusi might have thought she was friends with Nonku, but I don't
Okay.
think Nonku has the basic skill set to be a friend because I don't think I will stand by this. I think she needs therapy. I don't think she really loves herself. Um yeah, I think she has a lot of issues and she just needs to she has the potential to be a good person. I just think she needs to accept that she is a good person.
Agreed. And here's the thing with Nonko, and I'm gonna say this as nicely as I can. She's not fully healed yet from her marriage. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's there's a she's not at a place where she understands her self worth. She projects like she does, but internally she doesn't. I really do see that because you see the glimpses of how she could be a good friend and how she could be a good person. But
Mhm.
like you said, she's easily influenced. Because remember,
By her mom. I think she's easily swayed and influenced by her mom and her sister because her mother's the most powerful person in her world, and her sister, I think, like is like she might admire her sister because she probably didn't make the
Mhm.
same mistakes that she did, right?
Mhm.
And she wants to do, she wants affirmation, especially from her mom.
Mhm.
She's already done something wrong by getting pregnant outside of marriage, with her first daughter. Then she had the disastrous marriage. And I think she had children with her husband as well.
Mhm.
She I think she's always trying to make up for mistakes, but she causes the mistakes.
I was just gonna say this second part. So first part is it's twofold. She's resentful of Yanda because she believes that Yanda stole her life because Suiso chose her, and this is what I was gonna say here. And then
Hmm.
secondly, Noku ended up in a bad marriage, which added to her resentment and bitterness.
Hmm. I
One hundred
told you that.
percent.
Thank you, beautiful lens. I said
Yes,
that from back in the earlier
you did.
episodes.
You said like she is bitter. She is mad because she feels like Yanda stole her life. When like Ayana didn't steal anything from you because basically you were a kind of a rebound or a side a young lady he dated. Like he once he was with you, he kind of realized he missed Ayanda and left and married her. She didn't steal anything
Right,
because
and
she
that's why it pricked Nonku at the Zulu's lady luncheon when
yeah.
Ayanda said we had that break, and then he came back and said, I realize it is you that I want. That
I no, I
Nonku.
think I think I think that's the reason why she let her mama do what she did because that story hit her to the core.
Uh-huh. Because it shattered all of the fairy tales that she had in her head. All
Yes,
these years that he couldn't be with me because of her.
right.
Well, child. Nonku, I want to like you. I really do. I want to like you so much, but hurt people. And that's what I see and hear every time you're on screen. Well, okay, girl. We open up episode part 2, episode 14 is all fair in love and war, with Sarisha saying that there was a poll before the show started saying that she was going to be the most problematic on the show. Um, and it turns out she wasn't. And basically, she's just like, she says that everyone on the set has families. And if people could just tone down the hate, that would be awesome. They appreciate all of the support of the show, but I guess they got some like backlash in social media that was impacting some of the ladies. Mabusi said that she got harsh feedback on the flower situation. And he said that the comments about calling her a stripper hurt the most. She was really a club dancer, like a hype person, not a stripper. Um, we find out that Nanku is an ordained pastor. I don't know how I feel about that, but okay, girl. She says that she drinks, but she doesn't go to clubs. Annie says she contradicted herself. And then we see the unshown footage of Nanku in the tub talking to some man from Atlanta. Wow. Why do people in Atlanta love them some motherland delicacies? It's
I think
crazy.
I think it's one of the cities where I guess you could say people from Africa, native people from Africa, wind up going. So I think it was in the season of Atlanta. Someone said that I think there's a pretty big Nigerian population in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think that's probably what
because
it's
Portia's
familiar.
friend is married to a Nigerian, I think. Portia, isn't he from Nigeria too?
Simon, yeah, I believe so.
You know, but I don't know. They got a lot of money down there, so good luck, girls. let's see. Then we flash back to Sarisha and Ayanda, and they start talking about how Ayanda like dresses. Um,
Okay, here it is, real quick. Sorry, I just had to Google it.
Fellowship.
I'm just curious. It says the Greater New York and Washington D.C. metropolitan areas were the U.S. cities with the most sub-Saharan African immigrants, about 10% each, followed by Dallas, Minneapolis, and Atlanta. So yeah,
Oh, so then I need to go where my people are at. Because according
pretty much.
to Ancestry and
Okay,
23andMe, I'm Nigerian,
got it. Real quick, here we go.
but I
Where do
wouldn't be
most Africans
African.
being stupid?
I'm just
Where
thinking
do
about
most Where do most Africans live in the USA? Areas
that.
such as DC, New York, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Houston, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Boston, Columbus, and Minneapolis have heavy concentration of African immigrant populations. Often there are clusters of nationalities within these cities, so that makes sense. They, it's familiar. It's it's like home. It's like the closest to home that they can get
I
within the country. Yes.
wonder I wonder if those cities that you mentioned are also like major university cities, because
Let's
they
see.
could come here like to advance their education. Because
I'm gonna say for Atlanta, yes, because there's some
and
good
DC
HBs
too.
in DC, Baltimore,
Uh-huh.
Philly. They have some Ivy Leagues there. Los Angeles, yes. For the most part, yes.
Okay, so Crazy Beautiful Lynn says I spent some time in Atlanta for a few weeks on a fellowship, and met some South Africans who had relocated to Atlanta. Probably because I'm the fellowship at GSU. Okay,
Okay. See,
there
yeah.
you go. There you go. All right, so we're getting it. We're getting it. I'm still upset that I'm not considered African, but okay, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. But my genetic makeup says I'm part Nigerian, so I should be considered African. Just saying. Let's see. So we're talking about how the dressing, they make jokes about how Ayanda always comes dolled up, and she's not apologizing for that. She take pride in how she looks, and I appreciate you for it, except for the overdone football outfit. I didn't like that at all. No. And I love her with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's just me. They also show the clip of like when she explained how why she doesn't eat other people's food, and that there's been um, some poisoning in her family. Um, and is this the part where she alluded that maybe her mom might have been?
Yes. Hmm.
And I think the host asked, like, has anyone been brought to accountability for this? And she goes, the gods are dealing with it, or God is dealing with it. What? That's like a lot of people in her inner circle that could have possibly been done away that way.
Right.
It's a lot. Like, why are they coming after you? Well, not you, but your family. I don't I would be reconsidering being on the show with her.
Are you trying to say they might get you in by accident?
For real. Oh my god. Okay, so then Child Fufu come out. Oh my god. Okay. You probably didn't notice this, but when he strutted out, all I saw was his groin. Like he came on semi hard. Why? And then when he couldn't sit down, he was blaming the waist trainer. But I think it's because you had a semi hard on and you couldn't sit properly because your booty shorts was too tight. The hell? Fufu is a mess. See? Crazy Beautiful Lens. I think she saw the semi hard on too when he strutted out. You think so? Wait, is Fat Joe that way inclined? Mm? Really? No. Ah. Oh my God. He came out there in his poom poom shorts with a semi hard on and strutting. I loved it. I loved it. I didn't pay attention to anything else that came out of his mouth until he oriented himself on the chair. Not that I know of, but people may find him. Oh, true, true. Oh my God. Okay. So they talk about it. Ayanda says she knew he was gay from when he was 2. He was trying on her shoes. Um, he says he wants Ayanda to do better at dating. But Ayanda has
he
a
wants
high
effort.
bar.
He wants her to put
But
more effort in.
he does. But I think, one, it will take time because she's a widow. It's not like she divorced.
Right.
Her husband was taken from her suddenly. Whole world on an axis. Then she's had the mother's death to deal with. I think she wants to put herself out there, but I think she was married to her husband for a really long time. It's going to take a while for her to get back on the horse again.
Right.
And don't rush
I,
it. What will
I
be,
think I
will
think
be.
what I think what with Pupo is that he just doesn't want her to be alone. I think that's his main concern is that she's he's how can I put it? The best way I can put it is this: he doesn't want her to stay in grief so long that
Mhm.
she stays by herself, like for the rest of her life.
Or is it that he's like, I'm going to need you to hurry up and find you a man so I could go off and find me a man because I'm sitting here trying to stay with you until somebody else can take care of you.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Oh my God. Next thing, they asked Nonku about her marriage. She says she's still dealing with it. She says her husband kicked her in her stomach when she was 7 months pregnant. So when people say to women who are in physical relationships with their husband, you should just leave, that she would never do that because it's something that has to come from inside of the woman and that she has to know when she's ready to leave and that you
Hmm.
can't force them beforehand. Okay, girl.
It's
Mm,
true. Because the more you push, they tend to stick. I'm speaking from someone who's known a couple people who've been in those situations.
mm-hmm,
So you can't push it. You can you all when they come to you, all you can do is say, "Hey, this is how I see it. This is my suggestion," and
mm-hmm,
then you just let it go. You don't harp on them like, "Oh, why are you still there? Haven't you left yet? What's wrong with you?"
mm-hmm,
Because what happens is when you do that, they're coming to you as a source of strength and a source of support. So when their support they feel turns against them, they feel like they have
mm-hmm.
nowhere else to go but back to where they are.
But if I know somebody is in a relationship like that, I'm not going to go to them and say, "Why don't you leave?" I'm going to go to them
Right,
and say, "Do you need help leaving?
right.
I'm a resource. So and so is a resource. We can do this for the kids." I'm going to give them options. I'm not going to say, "Oh, you should just leave him." That's not helping.
That's the thing. That's what you just said. Like, why don't you leave him? That's I think that's where most people start off with, versus offering
Mm-mm,
guidance or support.
mm-mm. I will offer options and then end off with, "Here's my number. Call me when you're ready. We make it happen." Because of finances. Yep, it does boil down to finances. But
Hmm.
that's why I said, offer yourself as a resource. Re- it's it's more, I think we boil it down to finances when we're in that situation, but sometimes it's so much more, and it could come down to something as simple as hope. So, stop questioning why they're staying and
Right.
start offering the resources for escape.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Oh my God. So then he asked Lakanko and Ayanda why were they laughing at Mabusi's business. I guess it took them this long to come up with. Well, we had lunch the other day and we was talking about something with regard to the cootie cat steamers. And so we started laughing about it at the dinner table in the Highlands. So it wasn't her cootie cat steamers or her that we was laughing at. We was laughing at what we said at lunch. How come y'all ain't say that on the show? But okay.
Right.
Um. Then we go back to Nanku, and this is when they start talking about her daughter taking her dad's surname, and she gives us an update on it. It says that nothing's been done to date. But Nonku's father had questions for Ayanda, but he hasn't been well. So he sent her mom, the queen, down to ask the questions on his behalf. And uh, their excuse was lame. Yep.
Oh, I was like, y'all, I'm like, y'all don't even believe this.
Oh, wait. She says that they were laughing at Babusi because they don't take her business seriously, but it's making her money to get a BMW though.
Right.
I wouldn't laugh too much. People love their cootie cat steamed. So next thing you know, Queen comes on. Jamal, you take over this section because I know you have quite a few concerns.
I mean, basically, Queen comes out as an emissary for the father, the head, quote unquote, head of the family, and talk. Basically, she wants rep. She feels there needs to be reparations because Esfiso got,
Damages.
no, no,
Damages.
yes. She said she uses damages, which I felt is ridiculous. Yes, I no. Ugh. So she wants damages for so Esfiso getting Uncle pregnant, and apparent based on what the reactions they had already been talking behind the scenes about this at some point. It's
Mm-hmm.
either that or Ayanda's like, why didn't you come to me like before this or not on camera? Why do this here and now? Yada yada yada. And I felt that, and I felt her pain because like basically you understand that her husband is gone, her mom is gone, and she's quote unquote by herself. Luckily, Pupo was there to help her, and she made a very good point. She's like, hold up, y'all had all this time to settle this before he passed. You're doing it now, and I'm gonna take it one step further. Nonku, you called Ayanda when you were 6 months pregnant. Why didn't y'all hash this out back then?
That call was to break up the relationship because he had already left her and was back with Ayanda. If she was trying to
Mm-hmm.
get recognition for her daughter, she would have called Esfiso. But she called Ayanda to say, "Bitch, I'm pregnant. My belly right here. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. That's my baby daddy." That's what that call was. And she was just left to the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that as a woman. Okay, so Crazy Beautiful Lens says in Zulu culture, we have damages. If a man impregnates a woman outside of wedlock, he has to pay damages. But again, do you think that Esviso might have already paid damages when she was a child? When the little girl was born or even before she was born, then there was a part where either Queen or Nonku said that her dad was talking with Esfiso days before he died, and then he died, and it was like nothing. Why wait till she's a teenager? And then I thought
Right.
Poopoo had the best point. He said, "Y'all acting like Ayanda went out here and got somebody pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Ayanda did not get anybody pregnant, but she has to pay for someone else's mistake." I didn't agree with the word mistake
Mistake.
because the child is not a mistake,
Right.
but I understand where he was coming from. Ayanda also said I think she was blindsided, especially at the platform that this subject was raised on, because she said, I can't do this right here because it's not just this little girl, there's three more children. And if I say something with regards to this child, then three more gonna come after me. Like, time and place. Time and place. Damages to the woman's family because by him impregnating her outside of wedlock, he has effectively brought shame to her and her family. I don't think the damages were paid because that conversation is not a one-on-one type of convo. The families meet together for that conversation. It would be a Sfiso family meeting with Nanku father and uncles. So, is there any statute of limitation? Just saying. This girl is how old? 15? No, 15.
I don't think
She's
so.
a teenager. This is more than a decade. Like, shouldn't this have been brought up while she was still in the womb? If it's such a shame and disgrace on the family, I would be wanting that money for when that baby comes out. No, this could last for so wait, I could go back for more installments? I'm asking for a friend. I think I should have gotten pregnant in in South Africa. Um in Zulu culture, if a child is born out of wedlock, they take on their mother's name.
Oh,
Right. So that's what happened with me.
I have a question. So I understand the culture. I'm getting it, but how come?
After damages, they can take the husband's name or the father's name. Damage is separate from child support.
Okay, I have a question. Crazy Beautiful Lens.
Oh.
Is that the reason why Notile hasn't taken was not has not had not taken the dad's name yet because the damages had to be paid first? Is that what she was talking about? That certain things have to happen. There's a chain of command and order things have to happen. Because
But why
remember,
didn't SV sort this out in the 10 plus years beforehand? This is crazy. How do you have these children, acknowledge you have these children, or is it that if you don't pay the damages then you don't pay child support? Or is he trying to say she married somebody else so that's somebody else's burden?
so Crazy Beautiful Lens said yes, precisely. Okay, there we go.
Three other baby mothers. Did Nonku's husband adopt this for the little girl? And would that sever damages or nullify damages since legally the new husband is the father? Just I just want to find out the loopholes. So he didn't pay damages to any of the baby mothers that he had out there. Wow.
So so culturally, like, did so as Fiso brought shame on her family by getting her pregnant. Like, did Nonku take on any shame either since she allowed herself to get pregnant out of wedlock? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, maybe she lowered her value of getting married because she had a baby. Like she couldn't get a good match. And that's how she wound up with the bum.
Oh, yes, he did adopt. That's why Ayanda said it's a longer conversation because the families would have to determine whether the adoption changes anything.
Shut up. Oh. Is that part of that ceremony that we saw? It lowers her value.
Oh,
Let's see.
so were the damages paid be the gap from her value to make up the value of her lost of her lost value.
In our culture, we have lobola, which is dowry. Who pays the dowry? The bride's family or the groom's family? And in the case of damaged goods, is the dowry more or less? So if a woman has a child out
Oh,
of wedlock and they want to get married to another man, he'll be look.
oh. So
Oh,
I'm going to put this in kind of crude terms, and I apologize. But basically, since he impregnated Nonku, it took money out of her family's pocket.
so Esfiso has to make up the difference.
Yes, Crazy Beautiful Lens. Is that right? Am I on the right track?
Wow. The man pays the dowry.
That makes
Whoa.
sense. So say the dowry, let's say Nonku, like with no child, her dowry was like 30,000, right? And say since she was pregnant and had a child, the dowry lowered to ten
Five
thousand
dollars.
10,000, right? So that means Esfiso's damages would probably be around 20,000.
I would say they would ask for more because she's no longer virgin maiden.
Got it.
So, oh, damn, damn. This is a lot more complicated. But again, because this is so complicated and there's so
Hmm.
much nuances to
It's
this
a
whole
lot.
story, why did Queen bring this up on the show? I First of all, it's embarrassing to the child. First of all. Secondly, it's putting you all the way out there, non cool.
Hmm.
And thirdly, I wouldn't want nobody to know what is for or ain't for my daughter. Because in the end, like, wrong place, wrong time.
And then with Nonku, like I can only imagine. Oh, see, this is very complicated because now it's made me think about Nonku and how she got married. It's because she said when she said like she stayed because she felt like she had to make it work. In my mind, I keep wondering like, did she stay with this man because she had already brought shame on her family once and she didn't want to do
Mm-hmm.
it again?
Because that's why she didn't tell them that he was doing stuff to her. Because remember, she said she kept
Mhm.
that quiet for a long time.
A long time, all right.
Uh-huh.
That just took me back. Like, is this why you stayed? Because you already brought shame on your family
Child.
once. You didn't want to do it again.
But when Ayanda goes off stage and you hear her wailing in the background, like this the final moments of this episode was deep. I'm so glad you came here today, Crazy Beautiful Lens, because like I was touched watching the episode, but I knew that there was still stuff that I was missing.
Right,
I
the
cannot
context.
tell you how much we appreciate you today for helping us stumble through this. Um, 10 minutes later, we see Queen has exited. Um, Ayanda comes back. Um, Nonku, she apologizes, saying that they didn't think that far ahead. Um, and then we see Lokonko saying that she understands Ayanda's position. Um, this was tough. This was tough. The last segments of this part two was tough. And I want to see season two.
Right. But we need to touch on Lakonko a little bit because
Yeah.
she made
Mhm.
such a third point because she said her brother is in the same position. And because she is
Mhm.
well off, that family expected her to take on pay those damages.
Yes. Yes. So I don't understand why they're going after the women for this when it's the men who's impregnating these other women. It just it's just like wherever the money lays, that's who they go after.
I think it's
Um
more because it's a family thing. I think it's more about the
mhm,
families versus the individual. That's why I'm
mhm.
picking on through
Yeah.
um, this conversation. It's all about is it's not like here like in the United States it's individual. You
Yeah.
did that, you pay for it. Versus it seems in South Africa in the Zulu culture, it's a cultural family issue versus just
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
you issue.
And so she says, that's why Queen and Noku are foul for bringing it up on the show. They got so much backlash from South Africans for this. They did? With
They should
not
have.
saying that that's good to know, but that's good to know because all I could hear from this episode was Ayanda crying.
Mm,
That wail that she let out, that was heart-wrenching, and Queen sat there almost, smiling about it. That's not right. You feel your daughter was damaged, right? So you go after another woman and damage her. How is that right? You have been a joy, crazy beautiful Lens. And now you understand why Ayanda doesn't return for season
of
2.
course.
Chow ambush. It's opportunistic for Ayanda because she's the wife. It's crazy that she is dragged into it. But Jamal is right about the family thing. Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. Oh my god. And she doesn't even have a representative that can deal on her behalf because remember she said at her mom's funeral, now her and her 5 siblings are now the elders of their family. My god. Like couldn't they have talked to her brothers? Like
Right.
this should be a man-man conversation. Like but then again, this is her money through her husband. All this is convoluted.
Especially since she wasn't married to him when the deed was done.
That's true.
So I'm not sure how y'all try to make her liable for the situation she wasn't even a part of.
Okay, that's why I said it's opportunistic. Queen brings it up after yeah. So this is a big deal, the timing of when Queen brings this up. Oh, even another nook and cranny to this. Oh my god. Well, since Ayanda doesn't come back for season 2, I guess this is not a plot line in season 2 then, right?
I think, in my opinion, I haven't, of course, I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling Lakanko, this is one of the situations Lakanko would come after Nonku about.
Mhm. But
Because
wait, does Esfiso have a brother or a uncle or a father or something else? Because he seemed like he was a young man. Couldn't they go to somebody on his side of the family? Why are they going after his wife?
spite,
That's why it takes me back to what I originally said. This is all about Ayanda having the
hmm
life that Nonku thought she should have had.
I
Because if
agree.
this is a man thing, go to the men on his side of the family. Nonku makes it a plot line without Ayanda being on the show. No. Well, there you go.
Yep.
That's why they were being foul. Is a Sviso family who should have been approached.
hmm
Oh. Well, hot fucking damn. This low. This is so low. Like, who does this? Who
People hungry for
does
fame.
this? But they're damaging a child. This
Well,
child is roadkill.
But when you're filled with bitterness and resentment, this is what you get.
But you a mama first and foremost. How are you dragging your child through this?
Like I said, when
Ah.
you are narcissistic, this is what happens.
Oh, Nonku, I really want to like you, but get help, girl. Nonku is focused on payback. Oof. Jamal. I can't. I can't. I can't wait till season two. Oh, I hope Peacock lets us get season two.
Right? They better. You can't tease us with this and not give us like they did Melbourne, give us 2 seasons and cut it off. Get out of here.
You can see more seasons
I know, but Bravo,
on
but Bravo,
something.
remember Bravo gave us the first 2 seasons way back when, but then they just cut it off there.
Because nobody was watching it on Sunday afternoon except me and you, probably.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did Melbourne dirty though.
You can watch it on if you have Discovery or
Hulu.
Amazon
I got
and
Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch it elsewhere. But the only person I loved on Melbourne was the barrister and Tika because of the way how they said her name.
You like
That's
Gina
my
and Chica?
Chica, that was her name. Something like that. The way how Gina said her name, it used to send me. I loved it. Season two is even better. Okay. How many product launches are we gonna get? I don't know. This was a great show. I loved it. I loved the whole season. Um, I love the characters. Um, Sad to hear that Ayanda isn't coming back. I hope that they add to it the roster with even better characters. And I hope KG comes back. I know you didn't really like her, but
Oh, she got demoted.
she got demoted.
Yeah, and I saw
KG
some interviews.
is doing her business. So,
She said, "Oh no, she wanted to come back, but she said there were certain elements that did not allow her to come back.
oh,
But she's listed. Hold on a second. Let me just
they
double
add
check
a
that
white
though.
woman to season two. Oh, the
Yeah.
lady with the tattoos. Lady with the tattoos.
Okay.
I'm interested to see how she fits in, but
Yeah,
hopefully we
she's a
get
guest.
it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. This is KG is a guest.
Ah, okay. Well, let's hope that she's booked and busy with her businesses.
Same.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. And I hope we get to see pictures of Annie's wedding, even though I pulled those, I Googled those because, I love a wedding. She looked gorgeous, Jamal. She looked gorgeous. But which becomes contentious hot topic. Oh, Lord. A woman in a polygamous marriage. What? But isn't Lakonko in a polygamous marriage? So that ain't nothing new. So why is that a contentious hot topic?
It could be due to her culture. We'll need to find out what
Oh,
culture she's in.
well, I'm assuming it's Sulu. Oh, is no longer engaged. Wait, she was only engaged? I thought she was married. Oh, so this show was Lakonko's escape plan. Ah, girl, I love it. I love it. So is she gonna put herself back in the maiden ceremony? She was a fiance. Does that lower her dowry? I mean, just asking for a friend. This show is amazing. I love it. I love it. Jamal, any final words on the season, the reunion, the mess.
No, this is a great show, and I can't wait for season two because the way they left the reunion was unfinished to me. So I need to see how it flows into season two because
Wait,
the first episode of season two is titled "Old Old Friends, New Secrets."
wait, hold on. She is no longer a maiden now that she has a baby. Who she had a baby for? The president? Or was it somebody else while she was engaged to the president? Is that why she's not engaged anymore? Wait.
It says right. Well, if it's right, it says her her baby daddy is the former president.
So did he pay damages? How he's sampling the goods before he put a ring on it? Baby, where she brings it up. Ooh, ooh. Is it because he's president that he got special privileges? I can't wait to see the damage negotiation on season two.
Yeah, I need to see how this plays out because there's so many storylines that are unfinished.
Well, this leaves you wanting more for season two. Crazy Beautiful Lens. I cannot thank you enough. You guys have been awesome. I I don't know what I would have done without you. Hold on. And Mimi, I hope I'm saying that right. You guys have been awesome, 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 awesome. I hope you come back when we get access to season two, because I know I'll still be stupid and will still need help. If you're interested in watching any of our other recaps of other Housewives show, catch our playlists. Um, Aw, you are so sweet. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Crazy Beautiful Lens. I love the season. I can't wait till season two. Um, I gotta go South Africa. Between Johannesburg, and Durban, I gotta go South Africa. Jamal, book the flight. Let's go.
Right?
Let's go. Let's just go. Let's just go. All right, y'all. I think that's it. We're done today. We ran a little bit long, but thanks for hanging in there with us. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. We will be here next week, Thursday and Friday, just to give you some special shows before the holiday weekend. So, Jamal, until next time.
Of course, as always.
All right, y'all. Bye.